Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another episode of. Actually, I missed last week, so I guess I can objectively uh, comment on and host my other super popular pod. Welcome to Talking Dome, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome my co-host, Walking Ted. Walking Ted,
Drizzy,
do you have a few words about last week? What are your
Drizzy,
thoughts?
it is so good to be back. It's been so long since we've been able to host the pod.
What is
I
this?
honestly only have a few words because that last pod, whew, that was a doozy. But I do have a
Tell
few
me about it.
pointers. If we're talking dome, thank God you're back, Drizzy. That's all I can say. Because if we just had Sean
That's
hosting
what people
again,
have been saying.
I don't know if I could spend another 5 minutes talking about the weather to open this pod. That was a brutal segment last week, but whatever. But also, I don't know what Sean's obsession with turning the cameras on because he wanted to see Val looking sexy in that tight ass shirt.
He
Had me
did.
a little uncomfortable. That shit had me a little uncomfortable. Also, didn't like when he revealed that he turns the cameras on because Loesch wanted to see Brennan. That seems like he's helping out some kind of weird pervert jacking it to our fucking pod. I don't like that. Thank you. Also, Sean keeps referring to this player Jackson Smith. Who the fuck is that? I don't know a Jackson Smith. Is he afraid to say a
his
full
last
name or
name.
something?
No, I was just being lazy.
Yeah, that's a great point.
Thank you. And the last thing, if I'm talking dome, Jordan, I don't even want to hear your opinion. To hear your Shakaroni segment without you there just turned into Sean being like, okay, finally I could talk about the Lions. Oh man, thank God it was the end of the pod because I might have skipped a few minutes at the end.
Did I talk about the Lions in my take? I don't remember what my take was last week.
Well,
I barely remember.
I will say, I'm glad we got to bring back Talking Dome, even if it was just for a quick little segment. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Harambedome. I'm joined by my co-host,
Biting
Sean,
kneecaps.
Biting Kneecaps. Supposed to introduce himself there. As you heard earlier, we got the Walking Ted with us, and the other half of our championship matchup, ladies and gentlemen.
Yes, sir. It's me. It's JB. Everybody thought I was going down. They thought I didn't have it in me this season. But guess what, bitches? I'm back.
It's
Thank
JB.
you, 50.
Welcome on in. Welcome on in. Did that work? Because
What
we've
song
had
were you
issues
playing?
with playing songs in the
It
back.
No,
kinda
we caught
worked.
like the
I heard a little
tiny bit
bit
at the end.
Yeah, I don't know why it hasn't been working. It's supposed to be many men because many men have doubted JB. Many men, including myself in round one, have wished death upon his team. And here he is in the championship matchup.
You know, the pod's just starting, but I do want to give a shout out to my boy, Scrimp Gang.
Scrimp Gang is down there doing work.
Real recognized real.
He is out there. So I'm actually gonna pass this back to Sean to host because I wasn't present last week. I don't know the format of the playoff. So we don't have obviously.
You think
Well,
highly
actually,
of Sean if you assume there was a format.
Power
It's
rankings.
really easy, Jordan. You say a bunch of nonsense, and then you're like statistically, and then you just say whatever the fuck you want. And that was the format for last week's
I don't
pod.
think you understand
Anybody-
how statistics works. I had it on point.
Anybody
I
have a
know
matchup of the
statistics.
week?
I mean,
I know
Tucker's
statistics.
the only one here with a stats degree.
Well, I have a social science education degree. Does that count for stats?
Also,
I guess that means no.
You get that from the
Alright.
clown college or something? Where do you get that?
The College of
I saved
Education at
this-
USF since dissolved.
Oh,
dissolved like the Mickey
Not-
I'd be slipping?
Not dissolved, but merged with the grad college.
hey, where do I see everybody's like win losses week to week? How do I see that screen?
If you're looking for everybody's schedules, I think we'll be looking at league and then schedule if you're on the computer.
All right, yeah, thank you.
And
Appreciate that.
the
I think our
first thing
first
I wanted to
segment,
jump
actually-
into. Oh, maybe there's.
Well,
What did you want to do?
Yeah. We could start with me, and then we'll go to you. We could jump into your display of hypocrisy earlier in the chat. Not only did you try to take my throat when I dropped Gabe Davis,
Okay.
but then you go and add him. What's this all about?
Okay, so I would
Now,
actually.
hold on.
I'm glad you're providing me a chance to clarify.
Jordan let you
comment.
off way too easy. That's some foot and mouth bullshit, Sean. You know it.
I think
I
I could come to
understand.
Sean's defense. I think I know what he's doing.
Do tell.
I think Sean is. I think he's trying to protect the integrity of this rule that he found sacred but couldn't find in the bylaws. So he's taking Gabe Davis and placing on his bench so nobody else can snatch him up and win a game with him, therefore putting an asterisk on the season.
Oh.
You know,
Hold
it's gonna
on.
be
Take
even
me off
funnier.
the
hold on. Give me 1 second here.
It's gonna be even funnier whenever Sean
Let me
starts him and he puts up a goose egg, and Sean blames Jordan for that.
Let me read this prepared statement I have.
Heather is just probably
Written by-
typing his
Written
publicist
by
right
my
now.
lawyers. See, look at how flustered he is when he's confronted with his own hypocrisy. I understand that you're competing to lose, but you're adding a player that was dropped by someone that's out of it. So, I mean,
Okay, I'm back.
integrity of the
Sorry,
league,
my
shouldn't
my
do
dog decided in the middle of the pod that she wanted dinner and was not going to stop barking until that dinner was served. So had to give her food. But
Or you could, I don't know, own your dog.
well, either way,
Feed
yeah, this was quite a gaslight by you, because my intentions in my original messages
define
were.
gaslight.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure all your lights are electric. So
Well, let me finish. Let me finish, and you can decide what word it should be. But my messages were clear at the very beginning when I tried, and didn't even try to call you out. I actually just kind of, it was more like me bringing up the fact that, hey, in case people weren't aware, like you can add and drop players at your free will, because I was going to, my goal when I saw the Gabe Davis drop was to come at you in the chat and say, you can't, we agreed on this, because I thought it was brought up too. I think even middle of the season, someone brought up roster locks at one point, and I had said, yeah, like rosters do lock. I think actually at the start of the season, you could find a message from me in the group me saying, don't forget, boys, rosters lock after elimination, somewhere in there, maybe right before playoffs it was. And I needed to make sure I fixed that comment. One, didn't misinform people, because when I went back and dug in the rules, it wasn't there, and there was no poll in the chat. So it wasn't there, meaning it was not an official rule. So I did throw in that my original goal going in was to attack Jordan for dropping Gabe, but I said in the same message, in the same breath, that was not the case. I was not going to be able to do that, because when I looked in the rules, there was no rule. And so I followed up that message by saying, boys, feel free, add drop as you please. So I don't see the hypocrisy there, because I never actually did attack you. I talked about my attempt to want to attack you. My goal was to do it, but I never actually got to, because when I actually dug, it was not in the rules. So had I actually attacked you for doing it, I could see the statement of being hypocritical, but I never actually did. But it stopped when I realized the rules. I never even actually made an attack without clarifying the rules first. I just brought up that my hope was to do it, and I was not able to. So that is why I believe it's a gaslight, because I never actually did attack you for the drop of Gabe Davis.
The intention to attack was there. Therefore, by your own standard of morals, you should not have added Gabe Davis.
Well, the only reason the intent to attack was there because I thought it was a rule, but when I discovered it wasn't a rule, then there was no intent to attack anymore. So I never actually did attack, and then said add drop as you please. So
listen, I stand by my feelings that you are both a hypocrite and worthy of impeachment.
Well, listen, the second one may be true, but as to the first one, facts don't care about your feelings. So it's just what it is.
Hey, you know, here's the funny thing about that. This whole season, we've been talking about how, the will of Harambe truly shows the truth, right? It's kind of like ball don't lie.
Always.
Jordan, how many times have you been in the Ultimate Loser game?
I believe I don't even know if I have been once. Maybe
Once versus Ted.
Yeah, you have. Yeah.
John, how many times have you been or will be in the Ultimate Loser game?
This will be my second, but I don't see how that
That settles
specifically
it. Actually,
has to do
Thank you,
with a
JP.
specific scenario. Like that
it
just
has
seems
everything.
like a broad.
It has everything to do with it
Because
statistically.
facts don't care about your feelings, and you felt like attacking me for dropping Gabe Davis.
But I didn't.
And
Yeah,
then
that could have been
these feelings changed.
that could have been handled personally. You didn't have to go to the group chat with that.
Didn't. Well, I had to go to the group chat because I had to clarify and make sure that the rules were set, that everyone understood that you were allowed to add and drop.
I
Before
gotta bring
playoffs
this
started.
up too. I mean, what kind of commissioner doesn't have the rules figured out before they go pointing fingers in the group chat? That's a sacred place. All right, we only talk 100% truths in there.
Well, did I point fingers or did I say that I intended to,
There's
but then I
never
caught
any-
myself before I did? Which one is it?
Like we
Look,
said, the
which one
intent
is it?
there.
I understand this whole like cyclical talking thing. It's a good way to weasel yourself out of original argument, but it's not going to work on me.
Well, that said, I think it's up to the group to decide
See,
from here
asking
on out.
questions like that is an abuse of my low intelligence because you think my dumbass is going to say the wrong thing, but I ain't going to do it. Instead, I'm going to use weaponized ignorance. Ignore everything you just said and say you're guilty.
That's how I like to live.
That is how we do it. That is how we do
I
it.
think if there's a rule in the future, though, I think it should be something like maybe the people who are out of it can add, but only if it's like a day or two later, and they can only make $0 bids or something. So like whoever's in it has like the first dibs because they're the games that really matter. So because if you have like if Loesch was out of it, like he's in it, but say Follow Spike, he's got like $80. If he's dropping 80 on a player that actually matters for like the championship games, that'd be kind of annoying. But
so I don't know if you all
That's
care
my
to hear
2 cents.
this, but Wardle texted me about this very issue. Do you want to hear what Wardle said?
I don't really ever want to hear what Wardle has
No.
to say. But I guess it'll make for interesting potting.
Okay. So he said, and I'll just quote his text so he can't get mad. True. Also
You
meant
say
to
it like
talk
he
to
would
you.
say it.
I don't have a great Wardle impression. You do a better one, but
Oh God!
I also meant to talk to you.
I'll just read it as me. I don't want to embarrass myself.
kids?
Wardle?
Oh, and go Raiders!
So he said, "True. I also meant to talk to you. Locking players out for non-competitive games is definitely a wild choice. Just because I think keepers makes it a week for players to try and rebuild for keepers next season. Just a thought I had though. I don't think many would be free on the waivers if they were that promising. Just another element to think of."
So I think Wardle definitely had a ghostwriter for that point, but it is a good point.
These think about elements on elements.
And then
Yeah, but that
let's
being
see.
said, if I know I'm not, like, for example, I'm not keeping Jalen Hurts, so what if I were to drop him?
Yeah, see that
Right,
is like
and that is. So he also added this last thing. I think we've weeded out the fucks who would do that, other than Loesch clowning, but we can always lock his roster as an in case.
Oh, so now he's doubting me? He's
I wonder if
doubting
there's
me
shit
as a
you can
player?
do because I in my other league, if you click to drop players, am not allowed to drop like CMC or like certain top people. Like it won't even let you.
Is that
Yeah, I want to say
ESPN?
it's like your
Yeah,
first 3 rounds you can't drop or something like that.
yeah, something like that. Like they
Like
have
the
it locked, so I
undroppables?
guess people don't do. Yeah,
Yeah, the undroppables.
Yeah, we could look into that if we wanted to consider
Not to be
it.
mistaken with
That
the Immortals.
I was also thinking.
Oh, go ahead.
Well, while I was listening to the last week's pod, the more I think about it, like the more I don't want to. And it's going to be up to the league as a whole, but I would prefer keeping everything on ESPN, like doing as little pencil and paper shit as we can, because like if we were doing a pencil and paper draft, we're like, okay, this person's ADP -1, we're gonna have to do this on a poster board, da da da. Like Brennan wouldn't have drafted. He was at Halloween Horror Nights. We're like everybody's going to be in different places every year, more and more as it goes on. If it's outside of the app, like it's going to be harder and harder to actually get everyone to draft.
Yeah, I say we just whatever ESPN has set up or what we can edit in ESPN.
They should have a lot of
that's
options
studio.
for. They should have a lot of options for keepers. We just need to research them and find out which ones we like best. I think.
Okay. Yeah, no, I hear that. And actually, I didn't even you've said this to me before, but you didn't mention the whole idea. Like that actually makes sense. Brennan was at HHN. He wouldn't even be able to take part at all.
Yeah, and he's just one example. Like because we had a few guys that weren't present, and I imagine that'll be more and more the case as years go on. So
Yeah, and are we really
Not a
going to
lot.
want to bring a giant poster board into the Seattle Strip Club for our next draft?
But
Yeah,
like
probably not.
we could also if we could also still get the poster board and just have it for the live group just because it's fun to look at that too, and I don't know. And for the hose, like you could have the players' names on their nips, so when you draft them, you can
Ooh,
expose a
good
little areasal.
Find a way to make like name stamps that they put on their nips and then push their bobs up on the screen.
Oh, that's really
On the
we
poster
we
board.
have one hoe per player.
We just get to look at Bob's and Vagine.
We could
all
probably
night.
hire their wives and girlfriends and make it like really personalized.
That'd be sick. But which wife / baby mom for Tyreek? I mean, it's got a few to choose from.
That's true.
I'm drafting Cornelder 1-1.
Good choice. Good choice.
And you're gonna get his son Colonel to come in there and put the name on the board for you.
His girlfriend Cream.
Oh god.
So
Or
stupid.
and then his side piece Candy.
Oh man.
Think he's ever been popped?
I sure as hell hope not. Jesus Christ.
Oh, Bob.
Well, yeah, I'm
Oh,
glad.
also,
I'm glad
Sean,
we got to
I
talk about that because it's really been bothering me since it happened, and even more
Sean, I
so
also
since
thought
he dropped in the chat or since he added Gabe Davis.
no, that was a move. That was especially if he's not going to play him. Then
I'm actually not sure if I'm gonna play him or not. That's the thing.
Oh, so
if he
even
saves you,
more.
I can't wait to hear Loesch.
I might be playing him over Diggs. I'll say that now. I am tinkering right now, and I will make that comment to the pod that I am tinkering between him and Diggs right now. That's why I added him.
As
Are they
someone
playing at
rooting
home?
for Loesch, please do that.
Are they playing at home, Jordan?
No, I don't believe so. Actually, yeah, they are.
Home
'Cause it
Gabe
says New
Davis
England, not at New
historically is
England.
better than away Gabe Davis this season.
Are we allowed to put
And our
keepers
first
on
game
like
was in New
on
England.
people a few years out? Because I've been thinking about putting my keeper on Baby Gronk for a few years.
Oh, you're buying futures?
Yes.
Baby
That's just
Gronk
good.
futures.
Wasn't there some like weird internet thing where it's like Baby Gronk smashed that one like college?
Livy Dunn,
sport?
he risked up Livy Dunn. Come on.
Oh, he rizzed her up. Okay, I'm not sure what that means canonically anymore, but
I think it's if he could not, he would have.
I don't know what any of these words mean anymore. I scroll through stuff and I'm like, am I old? Like, what is a get?
you don't know.
What
You don't know
is
about the
a
skibbity?
Rizzler? I have no idea about the skibbity.
Dude, you don't
The
want to
only
know Jordan's
skibbity I
reaction.
know is skibbity dibbity ocious.
You don't want to know Jordan's reaction the first time Loesch put a hat emoji in the chat.
For Cap.
Yes. When Loesch did
No,
that, I'm
then
like, damn, we're done as a society. Our generation's over.
I will say I did jump on the Cap train.
Oh, yeah. Cap?
I was
All
steady
on
calling
board.
fools out for capping.
Well,
Well, I mean, I guess we could at least salvage somewhat of a pod by just asking if we're all in agreement for the biggest loser this week. It's gotta be
let's
Loesch
roll in.
or-
Let me pull it up so the viewers that
or
actually watch
Sean.
on the YouTube can take a
For
look.
me,
so.
the biggest loser is Sean. 100%. I mean, even acting like you had a glimmer of hope against Elimination Game Tuck is a fucking joke.
That's actually a brilliant
He's
point.
different out of the losers bracket. I've been saying it all year, and it's only come true.
I mean,
Okay,
I think
I saved this. Oh, I saved this point from the episode of Talking Dome, but Sean's hubris got his ass this time. Milos Black is dooming him to the deucing because Sean went on this rant about how Loesch is so stupid because Loesch beat him in week 1 of the losers bracket, and he's like, Loesch thinks beating me means I'm in a worse off spot. So I told Loesch we have the same odds of losing the league.
I thought the same thing.
And then Milos was like, no, but I killed your confidence. Milos was right. And now he's meeting you to pummel you into submission. You have no confidence right now, Sean.
Unfortunately, the confidence against Loesch is there, and I've been flexing it to Loesch all season. Now, whether that be my downfall, maybe it will, but the confidence is there. Now, at the end of the day, may Harambes will be done, and if I fly, I fly. But I have a feeling, even though it may be my undoing, I have a feeling that I'm going to crush Loesch, and I'm going to send him, should it be Harambe's will, on a flight to Florida and back. So...
Okay, you were also wild. Another tangent. You were wild on the pod. I just listened to it, like, as we started this pod. If you couldn't tell, very fresh on my memory. You were wild for thinking everyone's crazy for wanting to do the chip over the plane, dude. Chip sounds like a nightmare, but it's like a much fewer time commitment of boredom and misery. Well, not boredom for the chip, but also chip's illegal, so it'd have to be an alternative.
Having consumed the chip, I think anybody who would prefer to fly is out of their fucking mind. Like, the chip is bad, but it's over in about 12 minutes.
But before I hear you, but before we move on talking about, all this
Someone
stuff
just dropped out.
Flying, no one dropped out, but
No,
I want to mention that we have a pod abroad once again this week. Speaking of flying, someone who flew over to London recently.
Where do you get off just fucking up every podcast I take the time to get into with all this shit?
Wait, didn't we already have Loesch on the pod? So we've already had a broad, right?
James Wardle, folks.
Sean hosts every
James
pod.
Wardle.
It's always been a pod abroad.
Where's
up, guys?
Where's he abroad from, Holmes?
Oh, what's up? What's up, James? How my
How's
nuts
London?
taste?
I'm in Cambridge Circus. I don't know where the fuck that is. In McDonald's.
You're in a McDonald's?
Yeah, sampling the local cuisine.
The fish fillet and chips?
I can only be on here for a little bit, but I have to say, Sean, your way of handling that Gabe Davis situation was disgusting.
Thank you.
He hasn't. Just wait till the pod comes out later. It's already been addressed, Wardle. It's already been addressed.
I tried to play PR man. I couldn't even salvage it.
I don't think so. Sean, you're the only one who was addressed on this chat.
How do you feel about the state of your team and your loss last week?
What kind of question is that? His team's
Mr.
done.
Bye
He
Week
can't compete.
comes in again. I did step on a landmine. JB was like the Viet Cong, just setting up little traps everywhere, Pickens, Flacco, but we'll come back stronger next year.
Hey, it's nothing personal, man. I mean, eventually those guys had to have their best game of the season. It just happened to be in the same game against you, so you can just consider that payback for the
You
AJ
were
Brown.
dreading AJ Brown coming back and doing that to you.
You can just consider that payback for the AJ Brown, like 98-yard rush touchdown or whatever the fuck that was.
I usually pick winners. This time I picked the loser, but it's good to know that I'm still on average 2 spots above Sean, and Sean's going to be flying a Spirit flights. And he should fly all the way to England.
Well,
No, I feel like we're a legit sports show with the delay going on here.
there's delay for you.
Yeah, I can hear it. It's bad. So I'll let you guys go.
All right.
I want to be a real one.
Enjoy
I want to be
London.
like a real show. I'll
He's
All right,
still
ladies
here.
and gentlemen, James Wardle.
James Wardle, and now our
I
pod
was
is
hearing Ted, and Sean just cut me out. What the fuck? Man, fuck
and
this
gentlemen.
pod. Ted, please tell me what you're telling me.
no, I
I don't want to hear any fucking applause. Get fucked. Fuck all y'all.
Oh. Hey, come on, man. All of
Fuck
us.
y'all. Bye.
All right, there we
Yeah, I
go.
probably had to
All
run
right.
for a spot of fish and chip minge.
All right. Now our pod has been to Japan and London in the same season. So,
And we're no better off for it.
And you did that just
Sean,
for the click. Unbelievable.
since y'all were in the last pod when y'all were talking about the punishments and shit, there was another punishment I heard that kind of cracked me up. And I had a trip to New York last week, and it made me think of it again. There's a punishment where like the loser has to make a TikTok account and maybe like you do like a dance video every day, or you have to make some stupid video every day until you reach a like threshold.
Oh
Um,
god.
and then I was thinking, I was seeing so many like bums and little, people trying to get cash in New York City, like doing little tricks and whatever the bullshit. What if you had to become like a street performer and go out every day until you get like a 10K or some shit, or like $1,000 or something?
It'd be hilarious.
that would be funny.
Do I have to
Run
do
a
New
glory
York
hole?
City, or can I go to like I don't
No,
know,
you can
California or something?
just stay in your local metropolis.
I would say lower the threshold to like $200 or something, and I'd be down to run that.
The TikTok one sounded hilarious to me though, but
TikTok one is pretty funny.
all right, so
Well,
were we what were you talking about, the loser for this last week?
our losers for last week, yeah. JB and Jordan made theirs clear. Ted, you got a different one, or is it also me?
They both say you?
I think Jordan just jumped
Yeah,
onto
I
it.
said,
Yeah.
are we all in agreement that it's Sean?
I mean, they don't all have to be. I mean, most everybody except every game had consequences except for the Jordan follow spike one. I mean, Loesch is totally a loser too, because I mean, it was like a 50-50 chance for most of that final game, right? When I was following, at least, like before Lamar hit Zay Flowers, like that shit was kind of up in the air.
Yeah, that game was
yeah.
closer than it looked. Yeah, for sure.
That one, Loesch taking that out because I was like, at some point I was like, damn, who's it going to be, Va or Loesch? And fuck, yeah, Va, that was clutch as fuck. Lamar, that Lamar Zay Flowers connection came in big time. And he was worried on the last pod about Monty versus Jameer Gibbs, and Monty ended up doing enough, so he got 15, so that's pretty good. And James Conner had a nice day, I guess, and it's not like he left a ton on the bench, but neither did Milos. There wasn't really much he could have done. He
Yeah, that
just took the fatty L.
That Lions team, the whole like Jameer Gibbs, David Montgomery thing, it really feels like another true two-headed monster backfield, kind of like the Nick Chubb, Kareem Hunt, or Mark Ingram, Alvin Kamara type stuff. I feel like both of them get plenty of touches and opportunity.
Yeah, it's definitely.
Damn, I didn't realize how close the Spike Babylon game was.
Yes, that got overlooked because the game didn't really matter for much, but
I don't think I looked at it one iota. Are they just going to replay each other this next round? Is that how it works?
Yeah, we just replay. But that's part of the reason why I put in the chat that I think we should allow for Sunday, Monday open waivers, or at least I'm going to propose that as a rule, because last minute, after the games on Sunday, Josh Jacobs got announced as out for Monday night, and I couldn't add anybody. He got announced on Monday that he wasn't playing Monday.
I was going to bring that up to you. Do you know if ESPN can do that setting? Like, is that a thing like that can be done?
I believe so.
Okay.
I do believe so, because I hear like I feel like whatever that ESPN fantasy podcast is, the 90 whatever. They fucking talk about open waivers on Sundays.
What would you have done? Drop Rasheed Rice? Yeah, because like on that scenario, you still have to get lucky with whoever's playing.
Fantasy Focus Football, I think, is the podcast you're talking about.
Fantasy Focus. Yeah. See, 06010 or whatever.
They were saying they do it.
Yeah, I believe so. I think it's them, but I think it is a setting where you can have like obviously waiver period. You can set a certain waiver period and then open waivers for a number of days. I could be wrong. We got to look at it, but if it is an option, I'd like to have it.
I would do it if it was
'Cause,
an
yeah,
option.
Rushy or, I mean, honestly, I would have dropped Josh Jacobs. But
Josh Jacobs?
But see, you doing that, I feel like that that's a pretty big player to be dropping for people to
then can't we
snatch up and do
can we
what they
just
will.
say? Yeah, but then can't we say Josh Jacobs is off limits?
I think that's
Yeah, we'd
viable,
have to
too.
agree as a league. Would it be doable?
I think it would be because at the end of the day, I mean, if we all do like go into a chat and then even put up a poll and say, hey, this person can't be added, like the wrath whoever picks them up will feel from the league for doing that. I mean, I don't see anyone actually doing it. So
Hey, this is another kind of random question, kind of in the same vein, I guess. Do player types in your IR slot count towards your total allowable players of that archetype?
they don't.
No.
And I
I don't believe
realized
so.
that because didn't you have 4 quarterbacks when the limit's 3?
I must have because I mean, my sweet baby Kirk is coming back next year in my keeper spot. So
You're gonna keep Kirk?
you're damn right, he was balling.
All
It
right.
depends on his ADP, I guess. But if he's looking like he's going to be, 6th or 7th round, yeah, he's coming back.
Well,
Addison,
I mean,
a
you
healthy
drafted him.
Jefferson, Hawkinson.
Yeah, you drafted
You
him.
drafted him,
Oh
so you
yeah,
get him
I
10th
think
round.
I think I can get him at like 10th or something. Yeah, I got
Yeah,
him way
that is
late.
good value. Yeah.
Well, no, actually, I didn't get him that late. I think I got him like round 7 or something.
No,
but-
you got him. I'm looking at it. You got him round
Is
11.
he going to be back week 1? No way, right?
Wait, yeah,
Or is he on
he
the
tore his
Aaron?
Achilles early in the season, like game 5, I think.
Hmm.
I mean, I'm not a doctor. That was last podcast, unfortunately, but
Well,
But yeah, you can have more because I think we have a 3 QB limit and I have 4 right now. Because
okay.
I thought about it because I picked up that I we'll talk about it later, but I snatched an extra one on the waiver and I was thinking about it too. But it didn't ask me because like if you try and pick up a position you're already maxed out in, it won't even let you put the waiver in. But this
Yeah.
one it was going through, so I was like, oh, okay, it must work.
and I also
Gotcha.
wanted just a technicality thing, even depending on like for ESPN's sake, 'cause I'm just not sure what they'll do yet with this being our first season. Since that kind of makes it clear that the player on your IR is not on your roster, right? Because if your roster allows 3 quarterbacks and the 4th one is on your IR, they're not on your roster. So does that mean like by the end of the season, anyone who has an IR player that wants to potentially have him on their keeper roster needs to like drop someone and put them on an actual roster spot before season's end, so that like
What?
they're considered like is that?
Oh,
Oh, that's what I'm asking.
You're
Because they're
looking.
not
You're looking
technically
way
on the
too deep
roster,
into that.
right?
He's still taking away one of your IR spots.
Well, that's what I was asking. I mean, how do we all?
No,
But
but
he's
Sean's.
technically-
I see what Sean's saying because any waiver, like you can't make any waiver moves if you have a healthy guy in the IR spot still. So they're like not in your roster and they don't count towards any spot. Yeah, I don't know. But I mean,
I
for
feel
our
like-
sake,
I feel like
Yeah,
you should
I
be able
wonder-
to keep it personally, but
yeah, because all you're gonna do is drop like your worst player, so
Right.
it's like not like it's gonna make a difference
But
anyway.
that's what I'm saying. Should we like? Is that? I don't even know if ESPN would like. I'm sure we can make an adjustment if they do, but like, yeah, if ESPN would drop that player, I don't know what they're going to do with the rosters. Normally, all the rosters just automatically drop when the season ends, but now with the keepers, we haven't done this before. I don't know if the rosters just sit there now all off season or what. So, well, I guess we'll see.
Yeah, we'll see.
Oh,
I'm just ready to do like our first draft because we really have no clue like what the draft or like the balance of the league or the draft or how any of this shit is really going to work until we get our first draft underway
right.
with the new keepers.
Well, also, did we do this last year? Or Cole brought up to me over text that he said that we need to do end of season awards, like superlatives, like best trade, worst waiver pickup, best waiver pickup, like stuff like that.
Yeah,
Did-
he can
did
go
we do
through
that?
and determine all that.
We never have,
No,
but
we
it
didn't.
Okay.
it would be fun, but it's like sounds like hard. I guess people would have to like nominate one of theirs maybe or something. I don't know.
I feel like, well, because Jordan, we're gonna do the closing pod next week to like wrap the season up. So if we wanted to like get the ball rolling on that tonight or tomorrow and like get people voting on stuff, if we wanted to do that, we could.
hey,
We could, but
not
do
to
we wanna
interrupt
do that?
y'all, but you brought up the best waiver wire pickup. I realized this on the drive home today. Me and Ted made pickups that were not exactly grossly approved by the league, which required us spending most of our waiver wire money on one player. But look who's playing for the cup, baby.
Let's go. I also, JB, am I wrong? But weren't we both power ranked 10th at some point?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if I was ever 10. I don't think I was ever
You
that
weren't.
low.
I thought you might have been. I
I-
could be wrong.
I got a short memory, especially with the
It
bottle.
would have had to been like the
but
first couple weeks, but because that's definitely I hit the 10th. I thought you were at some point.
I
'Cause then
probably
you
was
hit-
if you think so. Yeah, it's probably
Because
doable.
also in the last pod, I kept hearing the word Cinderella thrown around with your team, and I was like,
that was.
I
that'd
kind
be
of get
me.
it because you barely squeaked into the playoffs, but also you were like the number one seed for like most of the season. So I don't know if that completely qualifies as
people-
Cinderella.
Here's the thing. Sean always talks like, "Oh, I don't believe in projections," and like my team has almost consistently been underreported by the computer this year. Like I've won games. Don't get me wrong. I've won games that were close, and the other team really underperformed. But usually, I've scored above what the computer thought I was supposed to score. So
Yeah.
So
I
that
don't know
is
if
like
that
a
has
big
to do
middle
with-
finger to projections, right?
I guess it could go both ways though, because I think like 4 or 5 games, like the other team really did just suck, and I got pretty lucky with it.
I think it happens to a lot of them because the computer is not going to project a person to get 150. It's like just not a feasible average. So it's like most like a lot of that's like some people fucking bomb and get 80, and who
That's
sees that
true.
coming?
Yeah, very good.
I don't
point.
know.
But no, I just wanted to point out, like, the Akon. Is it Akane, Achan? Like, how do you actually pronounce that name? Does anybody know?
Achan.
Yeah, Achan in the Ford pickup. Like, come on, we're balling out here. Don't sweat our swag.
Yes, them
Money,
them do be
baby. It's
ballin'.
about money.
Also, I don't know about Achan's probably even higher than Ford. Ford's an RB2. Like, most people try to come out of the draft with an RB2 from their top 5 picks. If you can spend most or if not all of your waiver wire fab and get an RB2, you should be ecstatic, in my opinion.
Yeah, Achan is like slowed off the last couple weeks because Mostert he got fucked. Yeah, his injury sucked. But even after his injury, he was like still like ranked like the third running back like 4 weeks after his injury because his first 3 games were fucking nuts. Like I don't even know if I'm starting him this week. I'm questioning it. But I guess we'll get into
Waiver
that
ad
with
of the year,
projections.
Kyron Williams, even though I'm nowhere near the championship.
No,
I like that one. I like that one.
yeah, there's
Okay,
an
I have a
argument.
question though. Can you make that statement before we discover if Joe Flacco leads me to a chip or not?
No, I cannot. So you're right.
That's true. So
Because-
superlatives would have to be
Because
great.
Byron alone.
Flacco might be playing the Jets, but I'm going to start him anyway. Because fuck it, we ball. You know what I'm saying?
And we
Well,
ball.
The thing in the NFL or every pro sport, superlatives are regular season awards. But I guess
That's true.
fantasy
It's true.
is a different.
And I already feel like I know what the response to this is going to be because of the controversy. But what if I start Gabe Davis over Stephon and he drops 30 for me and I don't lose the league? That could be in contention for ad of the year.
Shut up.
Yeah, let's not.
Shut up, bitch, and know your
Let's not make
place.
up fake scenarios here.
I
Listen,
think
just
I think the CJ Stroud pick, even though Sean picked him up and traded him off, that was a pretty big one for Matt.
yeah. At what point does
Yeah.
waiver wire ad have to apply to the person that added them to actually count as the ad of the best?
I feel
ad?
like it has to be a player that you picked up and kept. That is by definition like an ad, right?
Yeah, I'd agree with that personally.
Unless you can prove that's a player they tried to pick up and then had a trade for, I guess you could consider that like, proof of concept. But
Well, what gentlemen, do we have like a I mean, I guess our winners of the week, we can just talk about what we kind of did on last pod was just discuss how the games went really and then what we were looking forward to next week. So, I mean, what did we think about some of these matchups like just in general, Stroud boys, Olave Garden, we'll start with that one. I thought that was a pretty good matchup on my end because obviously I made it clear I was rooting against Matt. I think I put that out in the chat. So
Were you talking shit?
Oh, yeah, in the chat I think I talked shit to him too, but I was talking
I don't
shit
know
to
if
him
you
over
had the
text
text
as
on the
well.
side.
Oh, of course. Yeah, I was messaging him on the side too, mainly about the Vikings more than fantasy, but yeah, I was definitely shit talking. So I'm
Yeah,
happy that as I sit in the depths of the losers bracket, not really able to talk my own shit personally, yet still doing it anyway. I'm glad that Ted got to kick Matt out.
it's tough for Stroud Boys, man. His team, hell, his quarterback got hurt, right? Or no, just
No,
shit the
he was
bed.
just ass.
Absolutely shit the bed. Addison got hurt, I think.
Yeah,
Yep.
that was
Pacheco got
tough.
a concussion. His team, yeah, was just beaten up during the game, and it just performed like probably one of the worst games he's had all season. CJ Stroud, I mean, his kind of meal ticket he had was gone because the receivers were injured. His team just fell apart in the playoffs, unfortunately, which is tough to see.
I'd rather have Joe Burrow than Justin Fields, though. If we're talking, everybody, yeah, the injury bug is
We
getting,
want.
well,
I didn't know.
and I
I
was
didn't know
missing.
we were talking about needing quarterbacks. I've been running
No,
through
no.
them, baby.
I'm just saying you're giving his Stroud Boys little sob story. But there were some tough, especially the in-game ones are brutal. But yeah, but I was missing my boy Michael Pittman. He's been my day one all year. I know Jay Drizzy had marked him as interested in.
Yeah, I
Thank
never
God.
got any trade offers.
No, because he's one I'm considering keeping. Like he's been fucking nice for me all year. And who I'm wondering about? I'm wondering if MF, because thank God the King is balling. That's why I was hyped, because everybody's saying he's gone next year, pretty much locked up. So I'm like, fuck, are they just gonna bench him or not give a fuck? But he's out here fucking throwing touchdowns and shit because they're already out of the playoffs. Thank God he put up fucking 25. And now I'm wondering if he dips, do I just keep Tajay Spears?
Ooh,
Spears is a fucking baller when he's in there. And he's like a pass catching dude, so that's like some shit I got to think about.
Well, if I feel like just to ask, I might have missed this, but what about Rashad White? I feel like you haven't mentioned him yet, and dude
I've
is
totally
like
thought about. No, he.
like the value. Didn't you got him in the 6th round? So that's like a 5th round pick for who's currently RB3.
No, yeah, I've thought, because early on when I drafted Justin Fields, I was hoping he was going to be like a monster. I was, I'm not going to keep Kelsey. Yeah, I guess I think, yeah, the keeping is going to be fun. I've got a lot to think about.
the Kelsey ship has seemed to have sailed. I'm not sure if it's just lack of weapons on the outside for that team, but
Yeah.
something's
Yeah,
not working
and-
for him this year.
and I
Taylor
don't-
Swift might just be like stealing all of his talent or something.
I'm not going to blame the. I
Just
wouldn't.
draining
Yeah,
that sack. He's got no tea.
I'm not going to blame Taylor Swift, but I think it might be that, plus just like I feel like he kind of has his eye on his like post playing career. You know what I mean? I don't know. I can't really tell. Mind you, he's flinging his helmet. Looks like he's frustrated as anybody. That whole team kind of is like fucking down bad right now. So I guess hopefully, like I still have hope he can fucking snap next week. So
Yeah, I mean he could
and
also
I know
be
Sean.
he could be upset at the emergence of the new tight end 1. In
I
so.
fucking do it. You know what, dude? It's fine.
Porta
I'm
potty.
over it.
Laporta
I was
is kind
pissed
of
early
good.
on. I was pissed early on because he was my first round pick, and my team was suspect at the beginning. So I'm like, I was mad, and he kept saying it. Cause I'm like, no, this dude's still elite, da da da. But honestly, I feel like we should be roasting you for all this, Sean. You're trying to flame me. Yes, you had the tight end one, and you fucking sent him off to Scrimp Gang and to whoop your own ass with.
Okay. Well,
Yeah,
hold on. Two comments there. One, Laporta had a terrible game when he played me, so that does not really hold water. But and also 2, I have the number 2 tight end who's behind him by like 3 points. So I feel like I'm losing that much.
Is Kittle too?
Kittle is 2, and
Yeah.
Kittle has maybe it's not 3, but I think it's Kittle's got he's 2 points behind him, 2.3 points behind him.
Hey,
So
you can't bring up Kittle without bringing up everything you sacrificed to get him home.
hey, listen, man.
That came with a cost.
Hey, I needed to get him home, though. Whether I win or lose the league, I needed to get him home. Because Kittle's going to be one of my keepers. So I will be holding on
What
to
round
him.
did you take him?
I took
You're gonna
him.
keep Kittle?
I took him in the 6th round, so he'd be a 5th
So he's
round.
gonna be a 5th round. Yeah, it's probably worth
for
it. Yeah.
for tight end. I mean, I don't know what it'll be. Yeah, Kittle. Well, Ted, you have to also understand there's not a plethora to choose from on my team. Not that I think my team is awful, but like Ken Walker dropped off. Josh Allen's price is going to be too high. Tony Pollard sucked. Devontae Adams, have to see.
Russ?
If if
Colts
Devontae
D?
if Devontae goes to the Jets, we'll think about it. And the only other thing, Stephon dropped off. I mean, that OC really just fucked Stephon Diggs. He might be out, right, Jordan? I've been reading a couple things about that because I've been mad that at this point
Wait,
they
he
might
literally did?
be trying to
Who might be out?
Diggs. He might be going
Bench?
trade central because they don't even use him. Dude's not even used. I mean, I know he's a good pull away.
You obviously listen.
He is
Don't
a
even.
diva.
He's not. Don't listen to media.
Diggs
They
is a
don't know
total diva.
I think he gave Josh Allen the N-word
He's
pass
not.
or something like that.
I might
Listen,
have been
watched
gaslit by a
last
couple
Bills
articles,
game. It's
but
Matt Milano. Diggs is not a.
Diggs is not a what?
Diggs is not a diva. That's media
Okay.
hoopla.
You
He's
wouldn't
a
let your
team-
sister date him, though.
He might just be a little freaky. Doesn't make him a bad guy.
Haven't you seen that video, Jordan, where they ask everyone in the
yeah,
Vikings locker room, would you not let date your sister?
But
Everybody said
yeah, but
Diggs.
that's for other reasons.
So wait, Jordan, I have to ask,
that I would've put
from a
myself
Bills
in.
fan who knows this shit about the Bills, what happened to him?
What do you mean?
Why is he? What do you mean? What do I mean? Why is he irrelevant? He's irrelevant in fantasy. He went from wide receiver
Yeah, but
3.
have you not paid attention to the past four years of Diggs in fantasy? This is what happens. Beginning of the year, he's hot, and then teams start doubling him. If you look at pretty much every snap, he's got a safety or some help over top in addition to the guy that's guarding him.
Well, that was the answer to
It
my
has
question.
nothing to do with
Don't the
it's got
great
nothing
wide
to do with his
receivers
lack of inclusion.
beat that,
He's
though?
opening up a lot of players.
What do you have to say to JB's statement, though?
What's that?
You look at Justin Jefferson, he gets doubled most plays. He still gets, wide receiver 1.5 type numbers.
It
Well,
depends.
that's because I mean, in years past, I mean, even
Not enough
I
other
haven't really been
threats on the
watching many-
Bills, maybe.
Not enough other threats on the Vikings, and I mean, with the Bills now that we got, I mean, we still throw it to Gabe. We throw it to the tight ends.
Oh,
James
I see.
Cook
So
has
you're
started
saying that
guarding.
the Vikings just did not have any other option. Yeah, that makes sense.
Kirk just tosses it up to Jeff and says, "Hey, go get it."
Dude, that's my favorite type of fantasy football quarterback I've found. I don't care if
He's
you
the guy
get
that
3
throws
picks if
caution
you
to
get
the wind.
3 or 4 touchdowns.
You
What
would have
the hell do
loved
I
prime
care?
Matt Stafford.
Rocket. Hey, I've seen Jameis Winston win this league, man. I know what goes on.
Diggs is also not gone. According to Buffalo beat reporters, his contract is virtually untradeable.
Well, I trust what you read versus what I read on Bills stuff. So
Do you
Yeah.
have to finish out a contract if they die? Just asking. Because don't the Bills have
Probably
ties with Richie Incognito?
They do. That they
Interesting.
do. Bring him back in the building.
I have no
No,
proof
but
that he's
I'd
of
like
mob
to.
affiliation, but he sounds like it.
I think you
I'd
do
like to
because
put my foot on the neck of this rumor that Diggs is a diva and wants out of Buffalo. He just wants to win, man. Just wants to win.
well, hopefully
I think you do because isn't that why Aaron Hernandez killed himself? Because he would lose out on his contract money if he was guilty. But since he died in Massachusetts, if you die before all your appeals are out, you're not guilty. I don't know. Maybe that's
The most
separate.
believable quote unquote conspiracy theory I've heard, by the way, is that one. Yeah. It seems reasonable to me.
But hey, real
Yeah.
quick, I apologize, but I'm not on my own schedule, so I'm getting called to go to dinner, so I gotta drop off here.
Yes, sir.
All
Okay.
right.
Well, is there any words you'd like to add? And actually, before you leave, can you just answer me this one thing? Last week, I chose to not do the Pocket Watch segment out of respect to you. Do you want it? How do you feel about
Understood.
it? Do you want it done, or would you want me to leave it at peace while you're not here?
I mean, honestly, it's the off season. I wasn't planning on doing it if I was around for it, so do with that what you will.
Okay.
You have my blessing to do it, but I don't think it's needed in the off season here.
Gotcha. All right. Perfect. Well, enjoy
boys.
enjoy your
Go
family
Bills.
time.
See you,
Look
man.
forward to
Have a
Harambe.
nice dinner.
See you,
Appreciate it.
homie.
Peace.
What a man.
So Ted,
what a
I
man.
do gotta ask of people in the winners bracket, like where did my team fall of teams that you were afraid of facing? If it came down to it, was I like in the lower half, upper half?
Say that one more time. Sorry.
Like of the teams that were all in the winners bracket, right? Obviously, you're gonna face one of them. Like, was my team a team that you're like, man, I don't want to play that team, or is my team, at the start of this whole thing?
Well, actually, is Florida a two-party consent state? When it comes to texting, can I bring up the text you sent me the other night?
Hey, whoa, that was a moment of weakness.
Hey, do it. Hey, fuck, do it. I got exposed by them. Bring
I was
it up,
trying to extend a little Christmas
Ted.
sportsmanship.
Let's get some drama in here.
No, I don't have to say them all, but I did make this note to you. I don't have to read them all, but
I'm not sure if I
No,
remember all of them. I was like, I was mad fucking swifty that night.
you want me to read them all?
I don't give a fuck. Who knows what I said?
Okay. JP said, I was like, what was this? Sunday? Was that Christmas Eve?
Yeah, Christmas Eve.
Okay, JP texted me at 11:30 p.m. I think I was sober, but I could tell right off the bat. Or he said, which I didn't take this to heart. Harambe, don't take this to consideration. But JB said, if I wind up with you for the chip, I hope you win, my man. You're my fucking dog.
Oh, what? Holy.
I texted LMFAU, you gotta have more fight than that, homie. I said, and then I was like, you drunk as a skunk, haha. And he's like, I want to win, but my team ain't better than yours. And then he responded to my drunk as a skunk. He said, yeah, I am, no cap. Because I was thinking, like, I don't know if, like, your team's pretty fucking solid. So, but then I said, oh, but at that point in the week, also, my game was honestly, we were talking about my game earlier. It ended up being kind of a blowout, but going into Monday, it was 50-50, kind of. Just before some of those games played out, like Jake Elliott went off in the end and Purdy bombed. But it was like 50-50 range if Purdy and Pacheco, if Purdy and Saquon both went off, which Saquon ended up having a nice game. So I was like, look, it might not be over. I'm like, we might not even be the matchup. It ain't over for me yet, though. Matt got too many MFs playing tomorrow. And I said, Wardle's team's nasty. You taking his ass out. And then I said, to what you were saying, I said, thank God Wardle and Brenner are out of the picture, LMAO. Because I was, though, like you were saying, those two teams, no offense to your squad, but I probably would have feared playing them in the finale more than yours.
Yeah, fair enough.
All year long, they were putting up good points. But then you kind of got a little spicy with me. I said, Voss team needs to wake the fuck up, though. We need Loesch in the deucing game. And you said, I'm playing Wardle this week. And then all caps, you're drunk as a skunk. and I said,
yeah, I must have been on delay. I must have been on that Sean response.
I said, lol, I know you are playing him and you're going to beat him. And you said, for sure, I was trolling. And then I said, I'm just saying I'm glad they got knocked out by other people and aren't on my path to the El Harambe. And you said, I was expecting positive energy. Fuck you. I was like, question mark. The vibes are high. And you're like, all I'm saying, if it comes down to you or I, and that's where it ends. I'm like, I can't respond. I couldn't tell if you're getting mad at me, but I'm like, I know you'll cool off in the morning.
I think I was just like out there. So I was out at like this party with a ton of people. I probably was just randomly checking my phone and very confused at like the intermittent text I was reading. Even though I started the conversation, that's my best guess as to what happened.
No, I know. I could tell because it was like in and out and like responding to things that got sent like 2 texts before. I was cracking up.
Hey, you know what though? That was before I realized that you've actually won the league before. For some reason, that totally slipped my mind. So,
no, I know. Everybody gets a little drunk and starts
a little
crying about
so,
the homies.
Just for clarification,
a little Christmas cheer.
Just for clarification, this was not a white flag being waved by UJB. This is just a good sportsmanship
Dude, I was
conversation.
trying to. Okay, so obviously,
That's how I took it.
whoever
It-
sent that was not me.
Also, he was drunk. He could not have consented to that text.
That's true. That's true.
So look, it's
Okay.
not. It wasn't a white flag. It was more of like a, hey, it's kind of like when you're boxing. You know, you fake a little weakness, and they're coming for the kill shot, and you hit him with an uppercut.
The Joe
You know,
Flacco uppercut?
He
maybe
was
I was
lowering
trying
my
to.
guard.
Maybe I was trying to will him into a little aggressive maneuvers, like, oh, I got him on the ropes. I can start H-hand, and then I hit him with the Joe Flacco counter right. You know.
Well,
But
Ted needs to watch
yeah,
he needs to watch who he's picking
You know what
fights
the
with.
worst part? You know what the worst part about the Joe Flacco start is that he's playing on Thursday. So if he sucks, I'm going to know it for a long time.
Yeah, that's true.
Andy's about to play the Jets right there.
Yeah, they're the second best defense, I think, right behind the Ravens, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh shit! Yeah, like when I put that in the chat about Flacco, I was not joking. I had a feeling he was gonna sling it because I actually had in my. That's why I was kind of a Garrett Wilson guy earlier this year because I had him in my work league last year, and when Zach Wilson went down, Joe Flacco filled in, and he was slinging it to Garrett Wilson. He had like the highest pass attempts in the league while Flacco was in.
Yep. Yep.
So I was like, when Flacco's in, like, and veteran QBs can, like, he can probably read defenses better than like some of these young studs. You know, he just
Well,
doesn't have all the talent, but
That's kind of
he
what I thought
still
too.
can
Is
do
like,
it.
what the fuck does he care? Right?
Exactly. Yeah, he
He's
has
just
nothing to
slinging it.
lose,
He's just slinging it. All the confidence in the world.
and
But
he's had some of the hottest streaks in NFL history. I mean, if you look at like people think like, oh, the Ravens Super Bowl was a fluke. Like, oh yeah, like they just had a crazy team. Miracle, like the defense carried them. No, Flacco was like 4 games in that playoffs. He was like playing out of this world. Like he had MVP, like fucking Hall of Fame stats in those 4 games. Like he can turn it on.
Yeah, you can't
Um,
deny he's always had a bazooka for sure. He's not very mobile. You know, he's not going to win you any game with his legs, but he's been able to throw it over a mountain, so to speak, for forever.
yeah, he loves
But,
throwing it to Amari Cooper, as I learned.
Also,
this past week.
I saw on a TikTok video that he apparently has the strongest crotch in the NFL.
Mm.
Did y'all catch the video?
No.
He took a Vontae's tackle straight to the crotch and got right back up. Vontae's perfect.
Okay. All right. All right. I've got about 25 men left, so we
All
can.
right.
I
Well,
can
let's
bounce it to you later. But
let's roll through a couple
what
of these.
what I
do you
do
got
want to
say?
say though, I got one note on JB and Wardle's game, which yeah, I do. That's not to say I don't fear your team. Fucking CD has been nuts. So, I don't think I have to worry about a 40-point George Pickens, but we'll see. But as far as you taking down Wardle, did you get this notification from the app that said like 55% of CMC owners made it to their championship game?
Whoa.
That's like kind of nuts. So you took him down. Like in my work league, I have CMC and I'm in the championship game in that one too. So taking down him, that was like kind of against the odds a little bit. So
For sure. I mean,
that was
unfortunately,
pretty good.
his team kind of had a pedestrian week, I think.
Look,
Like he only had 115, which is probably beatable by a lot of teams. But
the thing is, Wardle couldn't beat his namesake of Mr. Bye Week. It came to get him. He is Mr. Bye Week. He's always been Mr. Bye Week, and he continues to be Mr. Bye Week. So,
what are you talking about? I'm not sure I understood that one.
yeah, he just couldn't beat him being Mr. Bye Week. He's been, I know he won the league one year, but I think like 4 years in, he had always gotten the bye week, but then always
And then
lost.
lost? Okay,
Yeah.
I follow. Okay, gotcha.
So he got the Mr. Bye Week title. Broke it a little bit there with winning the chip a few years back, but I think he's back to it now. So
I think that year that he won the chip is the year he beat me. Maybe not in the final game, but with that AJ Brown bullshit.
I'm also pretty sure it's the week he didn't have a bye week, or the season he didn't have a bye week. Like he actually had to play all the games.
Which speaking of this, one note I wanted to play is what I'm hoping for is a repeat of my championship year. And I guess we can go ahead and go into next week on this note. But the year I won, I had the bye week. That's the only other time I had the bye week, and I shit the fucking bed in the bye week, and then got it done the next week. Had a good game, and then I'm praying that this. Well, I hopefully I can get it done. And that year, I played Jordan, and Jordan put up like 70 or 80 in the championship game. So JB doesn't have to do that poorly, I don't think. But hopefully, I can have another repeat because the 2 times I've had the bye week, it has been. That's why I wanted the bye week so bad this time, and it ended up paying off huge.
Look, I'm not trying to lose, but I won't really be hurt if I do lose because it could have been my ass on a plane for 16 hours. So I'm riding a high after how the season started and went.
Dog, you got to get. Whew, I'm getting excited because the taste of another chip is on my lips. I can to tie Jordan on the league standings. It's not lost on me. I'm fiending over here.
Dude, I don't think you probably never. I literally would sit in this chair and just watch myself lose another week of this season. Just be like, fuck, I might have to sit on that plane for a full weekend. It was like actually looming in front of me, that punishment. And I don't know, I feared it more than the chip. I'm like, that's going to take forever. It's going to really suck.
That is crazy. I've been hearing all you guys talk about it, and I have not felt the same way at this punishment. Like, obviously, I'm not thinking it's going to be, and I'm in contention for it. Let me just put it this way. The thing that bothered me more was the fact of having to carve my name in that deucing and actually having a loss to my name, even though I've won as well, like having that loss. I mean, Ted, both of you know how the loss feels. And I don't want to feel it. And that's honestly more of what I'm like. The punishment, I mean, I said it on the last pod that the hot chip is something that would have made me like more like scared to actually lose than this. Like, I'm not actually really even like, if something were to happen where I lost to Loesch, which would just be, I don't think it's coming, but if it does, if it's Harambe's will, it is. But like, I'm not really that worried about the punishment itself. Like, it's gonna be boring as fuck, but I'm not like dreading it. Everyone's been like dreading it.
I was just on a plane for like with the layover for like, I don't know, 4 hours or so, or probably less than that, to New York, like 3 or 4 hours, and it's like, yeah, boring, this, that. But if I did the full one, my ass would probably be hurt, and my ass hurts on like long car rides and plane rides and shit. I think it's wasting, like, I don't know, weekends. I don't know about y'all, but it's like the weekend is like so fucking short and sacred when you're fucking doing it every week, and it's like to lose out on a day or more just on that bullshit would just fucking blow.
You know what, though,
as opposed to like the 20 minutes of burning hell and maybe a bad shit later.
Yeah.
The to lose the league and complete the punishment is truly what fulfills the El Harambe as a league, though.
That's true.
Yeah. I'm sure winning it feels good, but when you're the loser, everybody comes together to watch you get punished, and you have to kind of perform that sacrament, so to speak. I don't know. It's not so bad to lose. Like, yeah, it's really embarrassing, but I feel like it really brings a lot of value to the league to be the person willing to complete the punishment. Like, look at the seasons where we've had people not do the punishment, right?
Yeah, I know we've had too many of them.
It almost feels empty. It feels hollow.
Now I had a more cake punishment. So I definitely feel you, Sean, where I was like, putting my name on there, I was like, this is not happening. Like, I could not come to grips with it. I was like embarrassed, and I was like, damn it, I can't, like, because it's like it's the start of the league, like, and I know you probably take pride in the fact that it's like there's only a handful of teams now that have never written it down, and it's like the moment you're on there, you're never not a loser one year. So I was like, was hoping to put it off for as long as possible, and then it was like, what, like third or fourth year I was the loser. It like fucking blew. Now it's like, the longer it went on, it was like, okay, like, it happened. It is what it is. And now it's like, I guess the win softened it, but it's like, now I don't really think about it much. But no, I'm with you, where it's like, the longer your name's not on it, and JB's done it twice, so hey, it's totally lost all mysticism to him. but there's No, there's totally shit to that. I know. And what somebody's about to. No, Loesch has lost, so Loesch could be. JB could be met up there with a 2-timer, or we get a new timer. So
No, and the other thing is too is I think one thing that was getting to me, especially when like I didn't think I was going to be in the losers bracket or anything, but I did start to have like this eerie feeling as soon as like I made that trade with JB and CD Lamb, and Kamara just went absolutely nuts, and Devontae just fell off the face of the earth along with Damian Pierce, and I was like, okay, so this is not good. Then as it happened, I was like worried, and I'm like, well, now I'm here, but like I kept thinking in my head like, man, like I would be disgracing, like I'm one of the people that Tim said knew football. I'm one of the people on Tim's list of people who knows football. Like I can't be a league loser. I can't do it. But now
what does that really say about your ability?
No, I mean that was just more for the joke. But what I really came to realizing though was like this league now is not like it was like at the very beginning when like 3/4 of the league had never played. Like losing in the league now, it's embarrassing. It sucks. Like I'm not saying it in a way that I would be like okay with it, but it's also like everyone's good. Everyone's pretty good at this point. Like we're all pretty competitive and we all like try really hard. So it's like in the first couple years, like yeah, I paid like a ton of attention to football and it would have been like a bummer to lose when most people never even played fantasy. I've been doing it for a few years. Now it's like at least there's like the fact that like I wouldn't say there's someone more embarrassing to lose to than another person. Like we all try pretty hard. So there's that.
No, I agree. And it's like I don't even consider I'd like to think I know a decent amount, and I do, like I listen to some little podcasts, do this, that, read up on this app and this, but I think I've probably I'm pretty sure I've been in the losers bracket more than the winners bracket. And but there's more teams in the winners bracket than the losers bracket. But this is, I'm in my second championship game. I've won one. JB, is it wrong of me to say that you've probably been in the losers bracket more?
Who?
No, that's correct.
Oh.
Yeah, so me and JB have both probably spent more time historically in the losers bracket, but we're both in the championship game now. Last year, I went like 2-10 or some shit. So it's like, or 2-12.
Yeah.
So it's like, it's really a year to year. Like you were talking last year about all the bum luck you've had. Like it's a fucking shit show. It's just like so much of it is you're just grinning and bearing it. Like you said on that 1 year, Jordan. Yeah, I lost to Jordan in the league, but Jordan's like one of the gold standards of our league. He's been in the championship fucking 3 or 4 times, won twice. And he almost lost the league too that 1 year. It's like it's a fucking coin flip some of these years.
I do want a giant asterisk on my second time I carved my name in that trophy. I was in the losers bracket with no quarterback.
Oh yeah, that was one of them.
No, it's
worth the Lamar.
It's like it.
Like yes, I failed to understand. I failed to understand the rules
change
of the league, but I was not competitive down there. It wasn't like my team was the worst. I literally was playing a very important position down, which is manager problems. I agree.
I think Tuck also slaughtered you. I think. Even if you had a QB, mind you, it's like no, you were shit out of luck either way.
I understand. Losers bracket Tuck. I'm telling you, he back to the wall. That motherfucker shrimps. He performs. All right.
No, but
I waved the white flag.
That every now and then, like when people like you look at you're like that 1 year. It's that sort of thing. Like what a couple years ago, the Bills got screwed by that coin flip rule in the playoffs, so now they changed because of that. So it's like it was a rule, you got fucked, but it's like clearly the league knows you got fucked because we changed the rule the next year.
Yeah, by the rules at the time, it was fair, but boy, at the time was I pissed.
Yeah, well,
I was agreeing. Yeah, Loesch agreed with me. That's how I knew it must have been. Like,
for the sake of our time here with about 14, just any thoughts on the we've summed up you guys pretty well.
Might be able to dip like 10 minutes after that, so I might be getting my time.
Well, what do we
think?
You
ask about the losers bracket game?
I was going to say, what are you guys? We summed up you guys' game pretty well. You guys spoke about it now. What do you guys think about me and Loesch's game? These are the only two of real relevance here, coming to a close. 100%. So, what are our thoughts here?
I'm going to go deep into this one. I think Patrick Mahomes shits the bed.
Right now, y'all got a pretty much exact projection. Mind you, you might change some stuff up from what it sounds like.
Mine does not. I'll
Um,
tell you right now, I'm Tinker Central before you say anything. Stephon Diggs and Gabe is a Tinker. Also, if Pacheco can be out, Clyde Edwards-Helaire is heading right into that flex spot immediately as the starting. Was Jerick McKinnon's even on IR, so he'd be the only running back. Looking out for Josh Jacobs and Zamir White, because if Zamir White can start, Tony Pollard, I'm probably taking him out against Detroit. Not just because of the matchup, but because Detroit really doesn't allow running backs to score that much. And so I am massive Tinker Central right now.
Yeah, I just want you to know I like Chris Godwin into the Saints because the Saints always stick their best defensive back on Mike Evans.
Oh, Chris
So
Godwin's staying in that spot. Yeah.
Yeah, he normally plays pretty good against the Saints just due to the coverage scheme they play against the Bucks.
Yeah, he's staying. But that's
Now, if we had
just-
if we had points per penalty yard, Mike Evans would be wide receiver 1 every week he played the Saints. But
fair.
yeah,
I-
Loesch's his wide receiver core is
That's good.
pretty nasty, and including his flex. I mean,
Yes.
why do they have
Fuck.
Loesch advantaged at the quarterback position? I don't understand that. If I look at projected and average, Josh Allen has him beat in both of them.
on mine, the projected is 27.3 Mahomes, 24 for Allen.
Oh, I got them backwards. Okay. I
Which is
read
understandable
average
'cause-
projected, yeah.
The Patriots D has actually been pretty good this year. Our offense is just fucking abysmal. But then again, it's like the Kansas City D has been a little underwhelming.
Well, you know,
what's at least I guess.
quick funny
But
side
he's-
comment because it won't come to fruition here. I was actually slightly considering, because I acknowledge that Patriots D, and I was thinking about switching back to Kneecaps Country, Let's Bite. But because
You're out of
he's
your
playing,
damn mind.
he's playing the Chargers. I said I was thinking about it. I wouldn't. Not Allen has not left my starting lineup, but I'm saying the idea was there because he's playing the Chargers, and then even I doubt I would have done it, but the decision was made for me because Suss got benched. But Suss has a pretty incredible floor. I mean, his floor is just like 20 points. Just 20 points. Now,
Yeah.
he's had a couple
But
blowouts,
also,
but
if the Patriots D's are going well, James Cook might play poorly too, though. So it's like
true.
you got a little
Yeah.
something there.
yeah, I was probably sticking with my guy, but
Then again, you do have Diggs, so it's more heavily weighted your way. But still,
You might need to get Pollard out of there, man.
I might be doing it. Let's see what happens with Clyde
they are
Edwards-Helaire.
playing Detroit though, so he's probably going to
Although-
get like 200 yards.
Detroit's run defense is pretty mediocre, I think, if I remember correctly.
No, they're the number one defense against running backs in fantasy in our league.
Oh, really?
Yeah. If you look at if you look at my team, you'll see the matchup, and I found out that it's adjusted to a league basis. So for our league, the way we do scoring for running backs, Detroit is the number one opponent rank against backs. So I'll tell you right now, if any of those two guys, Zamir White or Edwards-Helaire, become the starter, Pollard's probably sitting. He's probably sitting.
I would.
Yeah, I
don't
was a
know
little
about it.
pissed. I was a little
So-
pissed. Edwards-Helaire was. I thought he was off the waiver wire. I might have gone for him. For some reason I thought he was on somebody's team because once Pacheco was out, he was the workhorse, right?
Yeah, he was. And now
Mind
that
you, I don't know if I would have.
McKinnon's
I don't
on
know if I would have
IR,
replaced anybody with him, but
yeah, McKinnon
Yeah.
being on IR too, like that sealed the deal. But we'll see. It might
Now-
not matter. It might not even matter because Pacheco.
I
might
will
play.
say this: this game, if we're talking roster moves, the winner or loser is going to come down to one roster decision, and it's which of the two of Loesch's kickers is he going to put in.
It's true.
If he doesn't start Matt Prater, he's out of his mind. Matt Prater has some personal hatred for Sean.
Didn't Prater just set a record for like fucking 50-yard field goals or something? Didn't he?
That's some
Yeah,
muscle
I don't
history,
know if
dude.
he's translated too great to fan, but and then again, neither is Butker. So
Prater's gone 8, 14, 6 the last few. Yeah, not crazy. What I will say, to go back to the last week though, Sean, with Matt,
mhm.
I was getting livid that the young ho dropped like fucking
He
17 or
did.
19. He dropped like 19. I was
He
like,
did.
what the fuck?
What a
I'm
coup
like,
score!
it should be a fucking against the rules to have to go up against the young ho in the finale or in the semifinals. Luckily, Elliott put up a monster game too. But yeah, I'm going through the same stuff too. I'm not done. I don't know if I'm done tinkering either. because my roster has stayed pretty. Which it's like my roster now doesn't even look the same as the year because I had the Rams D all year long, but they did me so fucking good. But the last 2 games, like last week, they played the Niners, which actually turned out well, but I wouldn't have taken that gamble. And this week they play Miami, which so it's like they just had like a scary end of the year, which sucked. But I guess that's just
Right.
defenses.
Well, I'll tell you right now, my roster locks are Josh Allen, Chris Godwin, George Kittle, Raiders D, and Jason Sanders. I want to say Ken Walker, and I'm pretty sure he is, but you never know how it rolls. So those are the players you won't see moving. I'm excited for the matchup. I'll make my quick comment now as the clock ticks here on our time, but I was messing with Loesch quite a bit. I texted him. He was actually trying to mess with me because when Tuck basically just annihilated me, losers brack Tuck, he texted me, "How's it feel?" He's like, "So, how's it feel?" Just out of nowhere. And so I texted him actually prior to Va taking the lead against him, and I said the same thing. So we've been going back and forth a little bit. And I told him, I said, get ready to carve that name in again. And I told him I'm handing him the League L. So I like my chances. I like my squad. It's going to be Harambe's will, but I'm looking to take down Loesch for the second time because this is a rematch of our 2019 losers bracket final game. So just like the last, I plan to send Loesch to League L. He shouldn't have dragged me down here. If he didn't want to lose the league, he shouldn't have dragged me down here with him. So
Don, I'm down to hit up I'm down to hit up the waivers for this week too, because it was kind of the last week waivers. I feel like are an intriguing one.
Oh, I'm still doing that. Oh, for sure. I just wanted to throw my segment here as we talk about this game as it wraps up.
No, it is a lot of fate intertwining on this one matchup.
He shouldn't have dragged me down here, man. That's all I'm saying.
It was because he lost. Right? That's what it was. It was because he won.
It was because he won. It was because he beat Matt that I'm down here. And
oh my god! The consequences.
He shouldn't have done it.
I think it was a combined Wardle dub and a Loesch win boosted me up into the winners bracket or something like that.
Don, in hindsight.
Yeah, go ahead.
Oh, sorry, I interrupted.
No, I was just saying it was actually JV. It was because it ended up being you, me, and him at 7-7. So the Wardle dub played part of it, but because Jordan won, all Loesch had to do was lose, and it would have been just you and me at 7-7. So it would have been you, me, and Matt. But then whoever had I think Matt had the higher points for, he would have went up, and then it would have been you and me, and it would have reset, and then it would have been just head to head because there was 2 of us, and it would have been me because I had beat you the week before. So that's why Loesch winning screwed all that shit up, because then it was all of us uneven, and then you had the most points for. So it sent you up there instead. So
Gotcha.
Big mistake by his ass, but...
and another fun little thing I was thinking about is that, this matchup between me and JB, we ended up not being so, but for most of the year, he and I were like riding with the 1 seeds. Like it was just us with a gap for a bunch of the year. So this is kind of, if you're looking at the year as a whole, this was kind of the landscape. And I was the only person in the West to make it into the playoffs.
Let's go, baby.
If
Mickey Mouse division, what the fuck?
If the entire losers bracket was the West, but I could take home the chip for the division, that shit would be hilarious. Because it's been me versus all the big dogs in the East. But no, what I was going to ask you, Sean, was do you regret in hindsight any or which of those trades that you made this year?
Va asked me this question. I don't remember if it was on the pod. I think it was just on a phone call.
I just listened to the pod. I don't recall, but I wouldn't mind.
Va asked me this very question, and I told him the only one I regret really, and even seeing how it's all played out now, seeing how players that I've traded, like Etienne, who I was so mad about at the beginning, but he really just, after his bye week, he just fell off. Pretty much irrelevant. Like, the only one I really regret is the one with JB, the very last one I did, the last big one that I did. The one with JB. It's the only one. I tried to get greedy. I saw my team. I was ranked first by the league in the rankings. I was ranked first by Watson. My team had just gone off. And I thought, how can I get even better to put myself over the top, to make myself just completely unbeatable? And that I thought that because at the time CD Lamb was just average. I mean, he was okay, but he was just average. And so I was like, I'll give up Kamara, Kittle's boomer bust. I'll secure Devontae, who's a beast with Jimmy G in, and then that'll put me over the top, him and Stephon Diggs. And then the unthinkable happened as soon as that trade went through, because I thought Kamara he had Williams coming back. The rookie was starting to get more touches on the Saints. I'm like, Kamara will just kind of be like 10 to 15 a game. Like Damian Pierce can make that up. Cole Kmet's been good, which he's actually, correct me if I'm wrong, JB, but he's been pretty good for you with Justin Fields back, Kmet.
Yeah,
so
minus his
I was like,
injuries recently.
I'm like, Kittle might have like a higher floor some games, but like, or higher ceiling, but like Kmet will keep me at a good floor. Like Pierce will be a good flex. Devontae Adams will be that next jump, that like elite jump, and I will be like unbeatable. And then just my greedy mindset sunk me, because the unthinkable happened. And not only did my players both tank, and Justin Fields got hurt, that rendered Kmet useless. The players that I chose to give away just went unbelievably nuts. Not even just good, like great. And so that's when I was like, okay, so that was the one. That was the one I shouldn't have done, that one trade. And it hurts, but I will say all the people that I wanted to not win the league are out. So as much as like JB, if you got this one, I think it would be good, because I think you've been a really good player over all the years. I think you've gotten fucked several times by injuries and such. I think you've done a really good job in the league. So you getting one, even if it's with that trade, that wouldn't hurt me. But of course, I am pulling for Ted to bring it home for the division. So either way, I think it's a win-win.
Looking at our,
I do. Let me.
Both me and
hold up.
JB's team. Oh yeah, go on.
Sorry, Ted. Just while we're on the trade piece,
You're good.
Sean, we historically been good trade partners. We usually have one or
and
two.
we'll continue
trades a
to
year.
be.
Okay, I didn't know if you held this one against me or if this was more.
No, it's not your fault. We made at the time I thought it was a pretty even trade. And I thought like I wasn't screwing you. I just thought like, I mean, you said it yourself that you thought that helped put me over the top, and that's what I was thinking. But it also helped round your team out more. I thought it was a win-win for both of us, and then it just ended up being a really good move for you, and it's just a tanking move for me. So no, our trade, we're still trade buddies. It's just
all right.
There's been a couple in the past where we thought we did good, and then I ended up on the better end of it through just that's how it worked out. So it's just how it happens. We have a yearly tradition.
Good to hear.
So
I was also going to make a note that my team, the shape of my team, was a result of my Sean trade too. So we're both. This championship game has a little Sean DNA in it.
Sean played. He played Kingmaker
half the league
this
has
year,
my
huh?
DNA, but I do think I do. I'm good with the trade that we made though, Ted. I don't regret that one. That one was
it ended up getting you other pieces, so it's hard to even look at just black and white. But in hindsight, looking at it, I feel pretty good, because especially after a certain point, as long as if Henry can put up a good week 17, and like Henry has been better than I thought he would be for a good, and Joe Burrow did what I needed him to do for the time that I had him. And his injury basically lined up exactly with Fields, which coming back, which my winner loss in this championship game comes with, if Fields can put up a monster one, he has the potential, but he had a good week last week. We'll see, because JV's team is looking a little scary. It should be a good one. Right now, I have the edge projection wise, but again, who knows? I might do a little tinkering too.
I'm either going to win big or lose big, I think, because I put in some high variance players into my lineup just to try to boom. Because I don't think I can, like average performance my way above your team. I think I need somebody to go off.
Yeah, my team has had, with the exception of that bye week, which I think I might have had an injury or two too. Yeah, if Pittman's in, especially my team in general has a good floor. Especially, I mean, you've watched Rashad White on the Bucks. That dude just gets fed. So I'm hoping for that, and hopefully the Titans still run Derrick Henry while they got him. And see, the thing is, Achane just has not. Mostert been getting the ball too much, and they're playing the Ravens, so that kind of scares me. But Singletary, I think, has basically taken the whole share from Pierce, it seems like, right?
Pretty much.
They didn't do much last week because it was against the Browns, but he was a good pickup for me early on. I didn't really use him much, but he's been, I can cash him in this week. He'll be worth the hold, so we'll see.
All right. Well,
I guess,
hey,
I got
are
like,
you on the
I
timer
got like
train
10
still?
minutes or so.
Yeah. So let's
I got like 10
move
minutes
on.
or so.
I'll move into the segment real quick for the offers report. We're gonna leave Jordan's budget summary at peace, his pocket watch segment, but I'll read off the offers report. So going back to I believe we did it on a Tuesday, so we didn't get to look at last Wednesday's December 20th ads right before the week, and this is the ad where Ted added the Commander's D. This was for last week's. Or this was
They ended up sucking. I
yeah.
dropped money. They fucking were not that
Yeah,
good.
$3.
But luckily Matt Steve was asked to.
I added Zamir White, who I wasn't able to even start if I wanted to because it was Josh Jacobs was questionable for so long. And then, or maybe it was that they played early. But either way, the captain, the Gibbs. This is where he added Joe Flacco for $0, a game-changing play at quarterback. And then
Potentially.
I added the Texans D, and I added Jackson Smith and Jigba. Since you're so
Ooh.
upset about me not saying his name, I was just being lazy. But I didn't add J-Mo or McKinnon. But obviously, I bounced around with these guys. I added Chris Godwin and dropped Jackson Smith and Jigba. And then Stroud Boys added the Patriots defense, dropping Edwards-Helaire, which allowed him to hit waivers on a Friday. And then on the Sunday, I added J-Mo and dropped the Texans D, where Captain the Gibbs added Darren Waller and dropped Dameon Pierce, which I know you loved Dameon Pierce all season, so that must have hurt to do a little bit there with Pierce.
I'm not so sure I've started him once.
I don't think you have. I just remember you telling me when we were trying to make that Devontae trade, you traded with Jordan first, and I was like, what about throwing Dameon Pierce in? You're like, I wanted him. That's why I traded for him.
I did actually. I did trade for him. Terry McLaurin was a filler piece of that trade, oddly enough.
And then as soon as I dropped him, Dameon Pierce, you picked him up like the next day and kept him on there for a while.
I always had hopes for him, but Singletary definitely just outperformed him, I guess.
Took it away, yeah. But then today, in preparation for the games, looks like 3 of the 4 people in contention for something added somebody or attempted to. I guess we're just missing one. Who might that be?
The one with the most money by chance?
Are Cole's kicker slots full by chance?
Skiddly diddly? Well, you'd have to look. But focusing on who did add, he has to do his Friday ads. Olave Garden added the Rams D for $1. Dropped the Commanders D. Did not
fuck. Wait, the Rams are playing the Giants, right?
They're playing the Jets,
Yep.
right? Or the Giants?
No, it's the Giants.
Oh, it's the Giants, okay.
Okay, you know what though? They have Tyrod, so maybe not so bad for me. We'll see.
Yeah, I'm
Maybe.
still. Yeah.
You didn't add the Jaguars D because you got the Rams D. And
yeah, that was just going to be if Loesch for some reason dropped money, but
right. So Kyler Murray added by Olave Garden for $1, dropping Rico Dowdle.
Was that a
that was a
block
total. That was a total block of JB in case he got scared of Flacco's QB matchup. Mind you, I forgot that JB had Kyler Murray, so that was probably a turnoff. But either way, it was Rico Dowdle last
That's
week.
worth $1. That's worth $1.
JB is always full of surprises because I tried to block him one week when we had a matchup from getting I think it was Browning off waivers, and I was like teetering, and he chose Minshew Mania, which in my head when I picked Browning, I sat there and I was like, Minshew Mania screams a guy that JB will take to do this thing for him. I'm like, so I guarantee he doesn't even put down on Browning, and you didn't. You only put down on Minshew, so
I lost that week anyways. I lost that week by like 3 points.
But
I love Gardner. He has been good to Michael Pittman.
Oh, he's a dude.
Yeah.
So I added the Raiders D, which I was afraid you were going to take them, Ted. And now I say all this stuff, like what I'm about to say with Edwards-Helaire too, and same thing. I traded for, this has just been my season this season. I traded for Zach Moss. He becomes a starter. I'm all hyped about it, and then he puts up 8 points a week. Like, I think the Raiders ad is a good ad because their defense has been nuts since the bye week, but just we'll see. It could just be another. They play Indy and they drop 5 points, but they've been like going off. I thought for sure that you might put down on them, Ted, because they've been like, even without the touchdowns, they're like double digit the past 3 weeks, and they're playing the Colts. So,
Edwards-Helaire?
no, the Raiders.
The D.
The Raiders D. Yeah, I was like worried. That one I was worried. I'm like, I don't know if I'll get them. I think Ted might like be scouring the waivers and like see that they did really good the past few weeks, and even without their touchdowns.
Damn, I don't think I realized what their last couple. They had
Like
2 touchdowns
even
per week.
take away the touchdowns, take away the 14 points or the 12 points, and they're still double digits.
Yeah, those are good. Those are good offenses they're playing against.
And so that's why I was like, he's
actually I don't know if you can say that because they get the ball right back. No. Yeah, that's true.
But yeah, I don't think I realized the extent of their scores like that. So that's, but also, they're playing Indy, and I don't know if I was like I liked that the Rams defense was playing the Giants, that I had no Giants players to possibly hinder or have to conflict interest. I don't know.
Right. Well, hey, listen.
The Giants also, it's like Tommy DeVito, this, that. I don't know. It was a toss-up.
No, I hear you. Listen, this has been, I say all this, but this has been the season for me. I'll say this stuff. I'll be confident. Then the Raiders D will give me 4 points, 5 points. So we'll see how it plays out. But Captain the Gibbs added Derek Carr. And then for $0, dropping Sam How. And then I added Clyde Edwards-Helaire again. Even if Pacheco doesn't play, I'm going to be all pumped. He's going to go on my flex. I'm going to be like, oh man, 15, 20 points, and he's going to get 8, like Zach Moss did. So it's just been, we'll see if I can overcome it. And then I add Gabe Davis and drop JMO. So that's how the offers report. So 3 out of the 4 teams competing for something added somebody. And
well, if we know Loesch, he's probably going to drop big money tomorrow night or something.
Probably.
Hold up. Is like Eddie Pinheiro still on the waivers or something?
He is. He is actually.
I'll also say when I was thinking about who to put, because I only had like $4 left, so I was like trying to think, like looking at the rosters, and I was looking at who I might possibly get outbid by Loesch by, but I don't see anybody on the waiver that Loesch is going to swap out with somebody on his roster. So even if he does anything, I don't think it'll be big, because even his defense is playing Cincy, so it's the Chiefs D. I feel like that one you probably keep there.
That's true. Well,
so
what are our thoughts here as we move in? Well, what do you got to say?
Or what were you? I was gonna say, or were you about to hit another segment, or just?
Yeah, I was gonna wrap up. I was gonna wrap up with the Shakaroni, but
okay, let's Shakaroni. Well, I was okay. What's digging at me? That's what it is, right? What's eating at my fucking insides?
Yeah, if you're ready to move into it, we will begin our new sponsored Shakaroni segment, and what is just tearing you up inside.
All right. Well, if we're talking about the league as a whole, and I'll keep it brief, and mind you, I've been a spoiled football fan most of my life. What's tearing me up is watching this last Pats game. I was watching with my dad. And it's like I don't know whether to be excited my team wins or loses, because should be in tank mode, you know? It's like tanking in sports fucking blows, because it's like the walk-off field goal when we're underdogs in like a stressful game, like that shit was fun as hell, but it's also like I kind of want us to lose a lot because there's some good draft picks to be had. So that's what's eating at me. Fucking tanking sucks even for fans. Or at least in my experience, mind you, it's like, Sean, you've rooted for teams where a lot of years you're like, I don't know. It just fucking blows. And JB, like in that, and like the Rockets the other year, but it's like at that point, I don't know. It's like,
dude,
even it's exciting to watch a team win, but it's like, you don't even know whether you should be happy about it or not.
I mean, this season the Rockets are competitive, and even if they lose games, they're at least close. I'm like, it's orgasmic. I watched 2 seasons of them being the losingest team in the NBA. Like, tanking sucks for fans. 100%, I agree.
Well, and in the NBA, in the NFL, it's big too, because it's like, well, shit. Like, a star quarterback is the difference between a playoff contender, Super Bowl contender, and a shit team. So it's like that draft pick in the NFL is the fucking gold mine. So it's like you can't even say that tanking isn't worth it. I don't know. It's just annoying. All right, what's your
What is this?
chacaroni?
What is this? What's eating me inside?
Yeah, so
What's
it can
eating me
be
out?
football related, it can be fantasy league related, it could just be sports related. But just listen, like a shakaroni, when you eat one and it just shreds
it's
your
tearing
insides
me up.
up. It's
Okay, what's
tearing you up.
tearing
What
me
is
up?
tearing you up inside about just
I can
sports?
tell you
Anything.
what's tearing me up. One of the greatest wide receivers who ever played for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, Michael Lynn Evans III, does
Wow.
not have an extended contract or a new contract with the Buccaneers yet. He's basically having a career there, or career year there with Baker Mayfield. Like, what's going on?
Yeah, that's nuts. And I
Sign
bet
this
he'd
man.
take any deal to stay or any
Sign this
reasonable
man.
deal.
He, much like my boy Levante David, need to retire Buccaneers. They are
Totally.
iconic Buccaneers in my life. I would hate to see them leave and retire somewhere else.
Yeah.
He's one sneaky that like before, which I don't even know how long he's been around. Has he been around since we played fantasy or like
Mike
to start
Evans?
fantasy?
He
Yeah,
definitely has,
he's
right?
one that like
Yeah, for sure.
he's one that like I never really heard about like before fantasy and this I didn't realize how good he was, but these last few fantasy seasons, it's like, oh yeah, he's a Hall of Famer. Like he is incredible.
he was drafted in 2014, I think. So, yeah,
Yeah, it's like
2015.
I didn't
he was
realize until these like last few like his consistency. He's
1,000
yeah,
yards
he's
every
so fucking good.
season.
Yeah, that's insane.
He also, more people have that record, but the games per season have increased. So he's going to hold that record with like the shorter seasons for all
Sure.
time. I mean, he's Hall of Fame in my opinion.
It sounds like it's a pretty good consensus from what I hear too.
1,000
I don't know
yards
about
every
first
season, Super
round.
Bowl win. Yeah, I mean, other
He's
All right, what's yours,
accolades.
Sean?
And he's sneaky about it, man, because this is just a Mike Evans fan page rant right now, but he doesn't pop out on the screen at you when you're watching a game. And then you look at his stat line, he's got 141 or 2 touchdowns. You're like, oh shit, this guy went off.
Yeah. No, he
All right, hit
does. He
yours
does do
real
it like
quick,
that.
Sean. I'm gonna dip in a second.
All
Yeah,
right,
what's
listen,
eating
mine
you?
is quick since I guess mine is just coined as me being able to complain about something Lions. I'll keep the theme. And the thing that's tearing, just shredding me up inside, like a 5 a.m. shakaroni, is how there was a hit last week on T.J. Hawkinson where he got taken out of the game, and it was by our safety Kirby Joseph. The one who I like to describe him as the guy who caught Aaron Rodgers' last pass as a Packer.
Oh,
And he went low, but I didn't think it was like an intentional dive. Like there was no penalty called. I don't think I think because if you go below the knees, it can be like considered a penalty. I think it was like above.
That's
like,
only on the
waist.
quarterback, if I'm not mistaken.
Okay, that could be true. I'm not very sure, but whatever the hit was, it seemed like just a normal hit. Seemed fine, and of course Hawkinson gets hurt, and Vikings fans, as annoying as they are, just clamoring, "Oh, this guy's dirty. He's dirty. He needs to be fined. He needs to be suspended. This hit's so dirty." And it didn't seem like that dirty of a hit. And then of course it comes out that Hawkinson tore his MCL and ACL. So he's done for the season, and it's got and then Vikings fans added fuel to the fire. Oh, how can this not be dirty? Look what it did to him. Look what it did to him. So yeah, what's eating me up inside is that standing up for my safety here. He made a nice football hit. It ended up unfortunately in an injury. Former Lion. Don't wish hate upon him. And Vikings fans are just doing what they do and being annoying. It's tearing me
You
up
know what,
inside.
Sean? I kind of agree with you because I look at that hit and I'm going to compare it to the hit they laid on my boy Nick Chubb earlier in the season.
Sure.
Like Nick Chubb, he was already engaged in a tackle whenever he got hit low. Like this guy made an open field tackle, and Hawkinson just happened to be planted on the leg that the dude hit. That's a tackle that happens more
I'm
than
watching this too.
more than like 3 or 4 times a game.
Yeah, that's like he's tripping him up. I'm watching it too. Football's a violent game. It's like
Yeah, I don't think he did anything crazy. So
And it wasn't
'Cause
intentional. He wasn't trying. It wasn't like Bounty Gate or something, in my opinion.
no.
I didn't
And
think so.
I was about no, because like the QB ones, like they get because he didn't like bend his knee back or nothing. He just went in the air. Like I don't know. Yeah, it's just shit happens. Some of that's not what this is. I wouldn't say, but you heard those comments by Tom earlier about how like I agree with a lot of the rules about like head hitting like the sub the concussions, but Tom was right that like some of it is like on the quarterback, like which that throw I wouldn't put that in the category, but some of them where it's like don't throw the ball where fucking this giant linebacker is going to crush your guy when he catches it over the middle, like when his turns his head, you know. It's like sometimes
Right.
it's like if your dude's going to get blasted not for the game, how helpful is that for your team, even if you get a penalty for it? So it's like just teach your dudes, like your quarterbacks, to be smarter with throws and shit too. That one,
100%.
I agree.
in that case, that's just a freak hit. But yeah, I agreed. It looked like a lot of players like Micah Parsons and shit were agreeing with that shit too.
I mean,
but
that's why. What's his name? The Doblin, J.K.
Mm.
Dobbs. Is that no? Josh Dobbs. He got benched for hospital passing his players.
oh really?
Yeah, he was like throwing them too high, and he had that one throw to Justin Jefferson that could have hospitalized him. Like literally, they had to take him to the hospital for chest X-rays or something.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
geez. So he got benched for that? I did not know that.
Yeah, because he threw like 3 or 4 passes. I don't know this to be sure, but I'm pretty sure this is what happened. I don't think the coach was like, yeah, he's endangering our players. But if you watch the film, he was hospital passing the hell out of his players.
Because
Damn.
even if you, it's not even like it's like it's not even cupcake shit like that. It's like when we're down our best player, we're gonna lose the game. So
Yeah, and if you're the wide receiver core on the Vikings, you're probably all talking like, "What is this fucking guy? Like, what the fuck?" Just
You know,
throwing it in
Peyton
the field.
Manning ended a man's career. I forget what the guy's name is, but he led a guy into like 3 or 4 concussions.
Jesus.
Wow.
Austin Cooney or something like that. I don't know. Look it up.
And-
But
Sounds like
and
my friend.
You and you probably hope that like when you're catching the ball that you're not being led straight into some scary ass dude fucking laying you out.
I mean, you look at what's his name. Minshew kind of did it to what's his nuts, Michael Pittman Jr. Overthrew
Yeah.
him a little bit, had to lay out. He made a great catch, and the other dude unfortunately made the only tackle he could because of the angle that Pittman was at. But just unfortunate stuff.
Okay,
Yeah,
I
it
have
is.
one final little segment, like 5 seconds. Okay,
Okay.
everybody look at the third place game. I'm gonna give us on 3, and then we all at the same time say who's gonna get third place in the league.
Hold on, who's? I don't know how to navigate that screen anymore. Can somebody just tell me who's playing who?
It's Wardle versus Matt. I
Okay, who's
believe,
getting
right?
third place?
Yep.
All right,
Okay,
ready?
I'm ready. Yeah.
On 3. 1, 2, 3.
Wardle.
Wardle.
Proud boys. Oh.
Oh.
Okay, it's a mix. No, it's a mixed bag. I mean, it's probably gonna be a close ass game. Who
Yeah.
knows?
I'm
'Cause
going Wardle.
We are saying that like none of these other games matter, but when you look on the history screen, it does show the third place player. Like third place ain't nothing.
Here's what I think you're
It's
sleeping
true.
on. So his name is Strabboys, right?
Correct.
Go ahead and click on his team, and you'll see that his team has been reinforced by QAnon.
He d- Okay. They're all either Q or Coup.
Precisely.
This dude, literally, was that like over half of his team, right?
Yeah, it is. Holy shit.
That's good.
Oh, man. All right. Well, boys.
Although Brock,
Go ahead.
yeah, that'll be a good one. Brock Purdy though shouldn't put up a stinker like that. You would think,
No,
but
that
Not
was
against
bad. Not
Washington.
against
They
Washington.
suck.
No.
Yeah, Washington
no
sucks a
chance.
dick.
that game will be worth a follow too, and see who rounds out the bronze medal.
Well, Jordan and I have a wrap up pod next week, but this is the last pod during active season. So, gentlemen, as the two that were matching up, it was an honor to get you both on. I think this might be the first time we've done this, getting the two people matching up on the week before they match up for the championship. But any words to each other? I know we've talked about a text exchange earlier, but let's get some sober thoughts to each other as your matchup looms.
Hey, good luck. May the best team win, and go with Harambe.
Agreed. I know when it's the sober week, everything's back to square one. GG. Hopefully all of our players stay healthy so we get the best matchup possible. No question marks. Let's go out there and get it, boy.
I love that
I'm with it.
sportsmanship, and I will. I'll tack on to that as someone in the losers game and just say, Loesch, may Harambe's will be done before anything else. But damn it, do I hope that you dragging me down here is what fucks you up in this league, and that you're carving your name for the second time into this deucing. Because although, as JB said, it can be a hater's paradise, the commish versus, well, Loesch. I know that no one would be upset at Loesch carving it in twice, even if they want it to be me. So I will do the league a favor, and shall it be Harambe's will, send Loesch to a second straight deucing. I'm ready for it.
My injured player sentiment does not extend to Lesh.
That's going to leave a mark.
Oh, I just clicked on y'all's matchup. Loesch took the first one, 169, 127. You got the next one, 107, 100. Then he got you 149, 119. So this is y'all's fourth matchup of the year.
Fourth matchup
That's
of the year.
kind of wild.
And let me tell you, I'll say it, I'll repeat it. Listen, Loesch, you bringing me down here, that's going to leave a mark.
Ooh, and I've got JB 122 to 69, 131 to 110. So this is our third matchup. Can I get the sweep of the series? Or is Jay Bizzle going to spoil my party?
Let's just say he made some adjustments since then, some defensive adjustments.
Also, Cole. Oh, by the way. Oh yeah, because it wouldn't work this way, right? Because he went 7-7 into it. He's 500 football, but there's no possible way he ends 500 because he's 1-1 and. Oh no! Wait, hold on a second. Right? He lost last week. Yeah, so he's 8-8. So there's no way for him to even end 500 football.
Well, the your playoff record does not influence the record it shows. It only shows regular season record.
Ah, okay. So we'll
So
leave
if
it
he
at that.
is if he is 500 currently, he technically ended 500.
Yeah. Well, here it is. But anyway, gentlemen, it was a pleasure to have you on. And if there are no other things to be said, I will say we do this league for Harambe. So as always, Harambe for president. Dick's out for Harambe. R.I.P. Harambe. We honor him as we go into this last week of competition, and may it be a good one. Any final words?
Nah, I
Couldn't
hope I
agree more.
win.
All right.
I wouldn't be upset with any outcome. I do hope I win.
All right, gentlemen.
And good luck, Sean.
Thank you. That
Good
will
luck
be.
to everyone out there who doesn't want to get a little higher seed for the history books.
That's true. Good luck to everybody. May Harambe's will be in your favor.